Hi folks, and welcome back to Fishing with Den. So today we're on a club match and we're on the club pond again. I'm on peg 19 and I've got a shallow area in front of me, and then at about 55 meters or so I've got a drop off which is about that steep, very pronounced drop off. So the plan for today then is I'm going to fish a pole at 11 meters just down. You may be able to see those lily pads in the water, but basically maybe one or two lines from left and right on there. I've got a Waggler rod set up if I need to go out further, and obviously I've got the feeder set up. Bottom wise, it starts here and it just does that. It's about 3.5–4 feet deep, shallows up where that bar is out there, but no other real features apart from those little lily pads there. So anyway, the whistle's about to go. I'll get back to you as soon as I've got everything sorted out, and let's hope we have a good day. I'm just going to put 3 balls out on that bar. And then I'm going to leave that for a short while. I'm going to start on the pole at 11 meters. Give the bar a little bit of time to settle down, and we'll use the Waggler rod in reserve today, just in case, but I've got a feeling if I don't catch on the pole, I'll probably... Did I say about that bar? Look. Oh, what a good start then. I'm obviously on the bar. Oh, dearie me. Back in a minute, guys. Well, after much tugging and pulling, I've got the tackle back. Don't know if I got the hook though. Yeah, got a hook as well. Wow. And well, it's all in one piece. That's a surprise. That bar is really steep over there. You've got to be really careful with it. Anyway, I'll get out the pole, like I said, and we'll start off on that. I've got that depth. That's it. I'm going to start with the number 14 slick elastic. The problem with that is, of course, that there's fished over 25–30 pounds in here, and if you hit one of those on this tackle, it ain't staying. So I've also set up a slick 22 elastic there on the other rod, on the other top kit, and we'll see how we go. As always, I'm going to use me pole bar or spray bar or noddy bar, depending on what you want to call it. But there we are, we're in position. And just again, so you know, it's because of the arthritis, not because I can't do it the normal way. But there we go. Let's see how we get on. I'll get some bait out there, and I'd expect to get a bite probably in the next sort of 45 minutes or so. Well, there's me telling you it's going to take me 45 minutes or so to catch a fish, and I literally turned around to pick up the flask, and here we are, we're into one. Not a big fish. In fact, it's a pretty small fish, but the good news is it's a fish. Now, if I can catch lots and lots of these today, I can put a good weight together, and hopefully take home the prize. Not that it's a big prize being a club match, of course, but look, that's probably 3/4 pound of a fish, and it'll do fine for the first one. Right, get back out there. I'll get this cup of tea yet. It was a 2.5 hour drive to get here. I've been up since 4 o'clock this morning, so I think I'm deserving of a cup of tea, but you have to do what the fish dictate, don't you guys? Right, get back out there. Still haven't got the cup of tea. Just managed to get my sunglasses out of the car, that's all so far. These are the ones I was expecting to catch. They're really small, but I'll net them just in case. You're looking at sort of 5–6 ounces for this one. Problem is, you see, if some of the others start catching on, say, the feeder, they're likely to be in the £6 range, or anything up to £20, and it's going to take an awful lot of these to compensate for that, so I may have to chop and change it today. Really not sure how best to continue until the fish tell me what I need to do. That's a little bit better. Not much, but a little bit. Last time I fished this pond, just before Christmas, I didn't actually do a video on that one because I had some problems with that intensity reel, which you would have seen the video on, hopefully. Oh, he swallowed it. The fish were all this sort of size, so it wasn't going to be enough to do me any good, and it may not be today. I'm even going to leave that bit of sweet corn on. Save a bit of time. I'll give this half an hour and see how we go, but then I'm going to go out on the feeder line, because as I say, the fish there are more likely to be £6 or so a piece, or maybe a lot larger, so it's going to take an awful lot of these things to do a £6 fish. And of course, that's the problem sometimes, it's trying to decide where you're going to maximise your weight, whether you catch lots of small ones or a few bigger ones. Pulled out of him. Tangled the float as well. Oh, well, just while we're at this point, I'm on a 0.4 of a gram float. It's about 4 feet deep, like I say. I've actually got a decent sized hook on. This is a size 14, so we should be able to cope with most things. It's just, unfortunately, if I get one of those really big ones on, I'm going to struggle. Oops. Yeah, we're into these tiny ones again, which is all very well, but you need to catch them at a hell of a rate to do any good. So I'm going to keep feeding the inside line, but I'm going to go out on the feeder line and just see what's doing out there. I'm not catching those fast enough to make a difference today. I've probably got, I don't know, a couple of pounds so far, that's all. Flies are bothering me today. Wow, what a pain. Okay, let's get this feeder job done. Homemade feeder, 3D printed. I'll talk to you about those in a couple of weeks, a bit more. I'll show you what we've got, because there is something a bit more special about them. But for the moment, I'm not using the really heavy size one. Flies. I'm not using the really heavy size one because that's a bit of a chuck for that. This is the sort of intermediate one, which is only extra large. A lot larger than the ones you'd see in the tackle shops normally, but it is on a heavy duty rod too. Right, I'll get a bit of bait into the ground bait pot, fill this up, and we'll get it out there and see what happens. I hope I just don't snag up on that shelf again, the bar as you call it, because that took some getting off last time. Okay. Not going to fish clipped up, because again the fish here can take with a real wallop when they want to. Okay, let's see how we go. Well, I put the rod down, I was trimming the tip, and it went round, and guess what? I think I've got a tiddler on this one too. Dear oh dear. Yeah, it's a tiny little fish, look. Just a reel it in job. So I can get over these reeds. Tiny. Come on. Ah, he's jiggling about a bit. Well, no, we won't. Well, that's not bad. I was in for about 2 minutes and it's gone round. Now the problem is I've got to get over that bar, so just take it really easily. Hopefully the fish will swim up above it. It's a bit bigger than the ones I've been catching down in front of me on the pole, so let's see how we go with that. Right, I'm over the bar. Trouble is I can't really get the rod down low to control it properly. All these reeds in the way. Still, never mind. Bring it down through here. It's not a big one. In fact, it's the same kind of size as the ones I've been catching down here, yeah. But it gave a good account of itself on the indication. Oh. At least that one's about a pound, does it? Oh, hooks fell out in the net. That's about a pound as opposed to a few ounces. Alright, let's see if we can find the thing. Dear oh dear. Right. See, even at a pound it's not really big enough to cope with what other people might be catching. Right. We shall see though. I'll get this cup of tea yet. I managed to pour it out so far. Other than that, I haven't had a chance to drink it. I'm gasping. Right. Almost ready. Good job I bought a fair amount of ground bait today, because at the moment I'm going through it quite quickly. Obviously didn't need to put too much out there by way of initial feed. Okay. Well, weights have all but dried up on the tip. I just had a bit of a one then, but it probably wasn't much of a fish. It was probably tiny. So, the question now is, do I go back on the pole and try and bag up on that with small fish? Gonna have to make a decision fairly soon. But we'll give it one more go out there, just see if we can get something decent. And then leave it to rest for a while and try it again later. This one's probably still only about a pound, I reckon. I'm just kind of winding him, but these reeds are a nuisance, trying to keep the rod down a bit. Yep, the same old fish, look. Right, well, I think in that case the only thing for it is just to persevere with the pole and see how we go on that, because I'm not going to win any matches this way. Tiny little things. I had a gloop on it, but yuck. I actually hooked him in the side of the face, but that's not going to be big enough to win a match, guys. So we'll have to see how we go on the pole, I reckon. Okay, well, I'm going out on the pole, as I said, and I've actually put 2 bits of corn on because I've got quite a big hook on, and I'm going to see if that makes a difference. I have been feeding whilst I've been out on the feeder, but I'm going to have to start catching a lot quicker than I was if I'm going to do any good. Oh, okay. Okay, that hit the bottom and went under. Well, I'm getting a hard bite here and there, but not going to do much with just fish this size. They're not scared of taking bait, and they're not scared of a big hook either. But they're also tiny, which is not what I need. Alright, well, if I've got to continue to catch these, I don't really want to be catching them on the 11-metre line. So what I'm going to try and do is start bringing them closer in. They're not tackle shy, and the depth is pretty much the same all the way to that sort of distance. So I'm going to take a section off and we're going to try 9 metres. GoPro, start recording. Finally one that's stretching the elastic a little bit. I've had a few since we last spoke, but they've all been those tiny ones that you can swing to hand. This one, maybe even a pound. Drop down the side into those reeds there. It's the first one I've actually had a fight out of. Certainly haven't had to pull the elastic in. Oh yeah, nettable. Now you see, a few of these wouldn't go amiss. A pound a piece. Wouldn't take too long to put a few together, would it? Yeah, in fact, that's probably closer to £1.5 pounds or so. How you can get a barbless hook stuck in, I don't know. That's the problem with these shallow edges, you can't get the fish in the net too well. Then you get the ones with those serrated spines that decide to stick in your net and you can't shift them. Oh, this one's a lot better. It's off out that way, look. And this is what I was saying about the elastic not necessarily being up to it. You get these little tiny fish and then you get something somewhat bigger like this thing, and you're really on the edge with the 14 elastic. But it's a better fish. It's worth quite a few of the ones that I've got so far, so I ain't complaining. It's kind of what I've been hoping for. That's also why I've set up that heavier rig. If I start getting a few of these, I might just use the heavier rig and have done with it. They're not tackle shy in here anyway. Again, it's not a huge fish, but testing enough for the 14 elastic. Catch a few of these, I could make a bit of a difference in the weights. Come on, fish. Oh yeah, that one's a good 3.5, short but very stocky fish. Pristine condition. That's helped. Stump down there just below me to just get in the way. It's kind of holding the landing net, sorry, the keep net up. Alright, well, with that, I'd be guessing that we're probably on somewhere close to 10 pounds or so now. And I am guessing because I'm so out of practice at catching these little ones that I really don't know. But at least we're catching. Well, slightly bigger. It's pulling out the 20 to 22 or something like this. It's at least half a pound. So fit, aren't they? But at least this is somewhat larger than the tiddlers I was catching to start with. This is actually probably the best part of 10, 12 ounces. Whoops. Still fish. Come on. So we are putting some kind of a weight together. It's not going to be massive, but it's a weight nevertheless, so we'll see how we go. Got to remember, this isn't a really serious match, only a club match. The winnings are probably just about covering the cost of the journey down here, and probably not even that by the time we've added petrol in, but it's all about enjoyment, isn't it? Okay, well, I'm catching steadily now. It's not frantic, but I am actually getting a bite pretty much every chuck in, and the average fish is probably, let's say, half a pound. Odd ones are bigger, some are smaller, but yeah, half a pound's the average. So if I can keep doing that steadily for the rest of the match, I'll build a reasonable weight. Just putting a little bit of feed in each time. Sometimes just a few pellets, sometimes just a few bits of corn, sometimes, like then, a little bit of both. Well, Martin next door to me, fishing on the Waggler, just had his first good fish. He reckons it's about 15 pound, and he's all excited. He's going to have a cup of coffee, he says. But that's the only decent fish that I know that's been caught along this little bit here. And that 15 pound is probably not far off what I've got. That's what I said, you've only need one fish in here and you're back in the reckoning again. All these little 6 ounce fish, well, you know, gives you a bit of a sport and enjoyment, but you need something like that, or 2 or 3 like that actually. Alright, well, we're 3.5 hours in, nearly 4 hours in, and still just doing exactly the same thing. Not a huge amount of fish, but reasonably regular. I don't think I'm going to do any great damage though with the scales. However, I've been known to be wrong frequently. You ask my wife. But having said that, it's enjoyable. I know I'm just sitting here catching tiddlers, but it's anticipation of watching the float go under, and also not knowing if the next fish is going to be that 15 pound lump equivalent that Martin's just had. Still feeding with the few pellets, a few bits of corn every now and then, and little bits of ground bait from the ground bait punch. I'm just using this one, which is the 20mm punch. Oh, it's still catching. Definitely over 4 hours in now. Not quite sure exactly where that is, but this is like days of old, catching roach and just swinging them to hand. I haven't done this for a long time, but it's an awful lot quicker than putting in the landing net. So hopefully we can put a few pounds together in this last couple of hours. I'm getting a bite pretty much every chuck. It's just not immediate as it goes in. It's in there for a couple of minutes before it goes under normally. Just doing what I said before, feeding a few pellets, a few bits of corn. Slightly better fish maybe. Certainly going for them lilies. This is why you need the strong elastic, and it's around the back of the lilies, going back towards. Oh, keep going, keep going. Come on, fish. You need to stay on. Right. Yep, I'm glad I've got this elastic on. This is going to make up for an awful lot of them small fish, and this is what I was hoping for. Just need it to stay on. Burning my hands. Right, I haven't seen him yet, but I know he's a decent fish. Take your time, Dan, take your time. Oof, that is a good fish. Definitely take my time with this one. Come on, out of there. That's it. I'm so glad I got this heavy rig on, because I wouldn't have got this on the 14 elastic. And you all thought I was joking, I'm sure. Or useless, one of the two. Gonna have a bit of an issue getting him in the net, I think. Got the bigger one behind me. If I have to, I'll try and put that on, but see how we go with this first of all. As long as I get his head in first, it should be okay. Come on, fish. This is what we've been waiting for. Come on. Stay on, fish, just stay on. This is when you sort of start to panic. You think, is he going to fall off? Oh, he's only just lip hooked as well. Right. Come on, fish. Come on. That's it. This time, maybe. Can't actually get them to come near the net. Come on, fish. Come on. Just get out of there. Round the back of the keep net. Right. Get in. Oof. Well, he's in the net, so that's okay. And that is a big fish. That's a big fish. Whew, that made up for the small ones. Come I might get Martin to weigh this one for me. Well, the hook's out of his mouth anyway. Right, back in a minute. I'm going to go and weigh this one. Right, well, I just went and weighed that one in separately. It's taken me away from the peg for a while, but I don't like to put big fish like that in the keep net, because according to my calculations, it actually weighed almost 17 pounds, which is a nice fish, and it's certainly one of the ones I've been telling you about to bump the weight up for the day. So he's gone back unharmed, and I've had to come back. We've started the swim up again. Might take a little bit of time to get them going, but as I say, I didn't want to put him in the keep net. As I expected, it's on a bit slower now, because having had that fish not feeding, it's giving them a chance to disperse. But I've got a couple of small ones since I came back. Oops. And maybe I spoke too soon again, but I hadn't been getting anything too fast, but I just put that one in and it's gone under again, fairly quick. Again, look, swinging size. As I say, reminds me of roach fishing on the river Ban at Portadown years ago. I struck at that one and it was off to the left before I'd even reacted properly. Get out of those lily pads. Okay, I don't think it's a huge fish, but it was such a fast fish. Surprised me. In fact, I don't think it's a very big fish at all. Yeah, took off though. It's obviously bigger than some of the ones I've been catching, but it's not huge. But at this point, any fish is extremely welcome. I literally struck where it was, and it was 3 meters to the other side of the lily pads before I'd reacted properly. Someone in the channel called these Ferrari carp. Well, that's definitely what this one was, a Ferrari. But it's a Ferrari that's another £2 or so in the net. So, thank you, Mr. Ferrari. Well, we're in the last minute or so of the match, and I've hooked into a zoo creature. At least it may not be all that big, but it certainly took off again so fast. I mean, when they take off that fast, it's not going to be a 17 pounder, but wow, did that thing take off. But this will be the last fish of my match, and what we'll do then is I'll get packed away and we'll get weighed in, and what will be a couple of seconds for you, but probably a short while for me, I'll get back to you and we'll give you the results. No idea how well I've done, but I will let you see the end of this fish being played, just in case it's anything at all reasonable. Could be a match winner, couldn't it? You never know with these things. Sometimes matches are won with an ounce or less. Hey. Well, he's probably, oops, at a guess, 2.5 pounds. So, see you in a couple of seconds after the match. And as you can see, I'm back home now, and I've got the results in front of me. I didn't actually win the match, not really that much to my surprise, but what I did do was come second, which was to my surprise. Anyway, here's the results. The winner, Ivan, had basically 80 pounds, and he was on the peg that I really wanted, peg 11. That was the peg a few matches ago where I had one of over 20 pounds, and I also lost that one of about 18. I snapped the pole, and I had a real awful day on just losing fish. But by getting 80 pounds, Ivan's obviously had a few big fish in amongst that lot. As I say, I came second with 51 pounds. Third was Richard with 46, and then Martin with 35. So, all in all, I was quite pleased with how the day went. As I said during the match, I really haven't caught small fish like that for quite some time, and it was quite enjoyable. I wouldn't really want to do it on a pleasure day, but on a match, yeah, it was okay. I enjoyed that. Anyway, that's it for this one. Hope you enjoyed it. If you did, as always, click the like button. If you want to subscribe, you can do that too. And until the next time, Bye for now.